Man, I just had this job interview that went totally wrong as soon as it started because he was getting impatient and shit. But you asking me stupid ass questions, talking about what level of grade did you complete. I'm like, I don't know. What, a level 10 or something? I don't know. He like, no, what's the last grade you completed? I'm like, a F. But in my defense, it was an F plus. He like, no, man, I'm asking you how far did you go in school? I'm like, shit, to the bathroom. I didn't want to be there, so I was skipping. He like, man, did you graduate from high school? I'm like, nah, but this the thing. When I graduated elementary school, I thought I was done. I even tried to go to college, and they was like, man, you got to go to middle school and high school. I said, I got to do this shit 2 more times? I said, fuck that, man. I hit the block and got me a sack. He was like, well, I see this interview is almost over. I just got a couple more questions to ask you. Did you ever have a job before? I'm like, yeah. But to be honest, man, you may as well say no because I only worked there for 3 hours and shit. He was like, what happened? I said, the manager jumped me. Hiring all the crew members jumped me. Because she didn't want to pay me, they called the police on me and they arrested me for defending myself. I'm on probation. That's why I need a job. Because she telling me to get a job. So he got excited. He was like, really? Well, we need some help. How long are you on probation? I said, 17 years. He said, so if I hire you, you're going to work for 17 years. I said, absolutely. If I don't have a job, I'm going to go to jail. He said, how many days a week do you want to work? I said, 1. He said, really, you want to work 1 day out the whole week? I said, well, how many days is in a week, sir? He said, you don't know how many days are in a week? I said, sir, if I knew how many days was in a week now, would I be asking you? He like, nah. I said, all right then, fucking genius. He was like, there's 7 days in a week, sir. I said, well, yeah, absolutely. I just want to work 1 day. He was like, all right, well, I can put you on for like a 10 to 12 hour shift. That way it makes it worth your while. I was like, no, I'm not trying to do 10 to 12 hours. Well, how many hours do you want to work? 1. He said, you got to do more than that. I'm like, well, I want to work the minimum. He like, well, I still might bring you in, man, and just to see if you like it, and then we could get you on the schedule more often if you would prefer that. I said, yeah, that works for me, but I got a question for you. How do you pay? He said, shit, we usually start off at $15 an hour, but for you, we're going to give you 10. I said, that's great. I said, but listen, it was some confusion about this shit at KLC. Now, you say $10 an hour, so am I going to get paid after my first hour? When I work my first hour, I'm going to get paid, right? He said, absolutely not. He said, you get paid every week here, but you got to work a week in the hole. So I'm like, why the fuck I got to work in the hole? And why can't I work back there with the rest of them? And you talking about like the hole, like solitary confinement in prison or something like that? He like, no, working a week in the hole is basically you got to work a week and then you will get your check the next week. I'm like, so I got to wait. I got to work 3 weeks to get paid? He said, no, 2 weeks. I'm like, nah, man, I'm cool. He said, so you don't want the job? I'm like, hell no, not if I got to wait 2 weeks until I get paid. No, I'm like, I'm cool, man. I'm straight on that, man. He was like, well, if you want the job, man, it's the offer still to be available. Just give me a call. I don't think nobody else going to hire you. I'm like, what the fuck that mean? If you trying to be disrespectful, I'll beat your ass right now. He like, no, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm just saying, if you need the job, it's here. I'm like, nah, man, you could take this job and shove it up your ass, man, with that 2 weeks in a whole bullshit. I want to work back there with everybody else. And I ain't trying to wait 2 weeks before I get a check.